So today on the Bronco, we're going to be focusing on doing the ACC relocation. So as you guys already know, if you watched some of my previous videos, with the turn-off road winch plate as well as the open road winch and even the turn-off road bull bar on the front right here, our ACC is not working. Essentially, it's that black piece right there behind the winch and it can't read through the metal. So what this relocation kit is supposed to do is to relocate it right here behind the grill, and it's really only set up for the standard Bronco. So I'm gonna see if this turn-off road ACC relocation kit will also work for the Bronco Raptor. Now I'm gonna save you guys the boredom of watching me tear apart the front end on this again, because I've done it so many times. But I will pick back up with you guys whenever we get to at least popping the grill off and the headlights, because we will have to do that for today's video. But if you need a little bit more information on how to disassemble the front end, go back and watch either two of my last videos on the Bronco Raptor where we took it all apart. So for now, I've got the front bumper off, I've got the winch disassembled, the winch plate taken off, and our main priority now is going to be undoing the actual ACC radar right down here. And then we're also going to be relocating it. So the next step is just tearing the front end down even more. So what I'm going to do first is move this little cupboard that actually feeds some of the air in. And now we have access to our actual ACC radar. All right, so for this, I assume we need to undo these bolts. We got one right here, one on the top. We've got three on this main bracket and then the same ones over here. So I'm gonna loosen up these first, pull it off, and then we'll loosen up the rest of the bracket here. Now that we've got those three removed, I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect this clip right here. And then we've got our actual bracket all separated. I'm gonna set it right here for now. Then once we've got all those unbolted, I believe we can just lift this off. You are, and then that will give us access to the wiring here on the back.
Sorry, Daddy.
It's okay. And we're gonna pop these off right here, and we're gonna separate the wiring. That way we can adjust our length here for this, and that way we can route it all the way up here. And I'm gonna unplug this one right here just so it's a little easier to work with. So this is the one that's gonna go to our ACC forward collision sensor. So all we need to do is strip this wire down and separate it. That way we've got the extra length to pull it up there. Whoa, that's bright.
Yeah. And that's just sharp.
No, it's not sharp.
Oh, I can touch it.
Yeah, you can touch it.
It's so cool.
Okay, and now we've got this all separated. So as you can see, whenever this goes back in place, this wire will still go all the way over here and connect, but then we'll also have this extension to go all the way up right here, which will be great. I think while I've got it in this location right now, I'm probably gonna go ahead and tape it all up. So as soon as I get done taping all this back, we'll be right back and we'll rip off the grill. So I'm all done with taping it up now. It looks pretty good. So the next step here is to take off the grill and take off the shutter system behind the grill as well. Now part of the intake system is connected to this overlay. So we're gonna lift this up and it pretty easily disconnects. Then we should be able to pull this up, put it out of the way. And then for our grill, we've got a few bolts right here. Looks like it's just 4 of them that are actually holding it in. And of course, all of these are 10mm. So I've got all those off, and now we just need to pull the grill off. There's going to be a few connections you'll want to disconnect on here before you rip it completely off. Got one right here. And the grill is completely off. Now the next few steps should be simple enough, but I'm not really sure how to do it. I believe we need to remove the headlight, that way we can access this, because technically this is where the mount should be. And I'll go ahead and show you guys what the mounts actually look like. So this is the stuff that we got in the package from Turn Off Road. Looks like we've got 2 separate brackets that probably go together to make one bracket. And of course, they've got great packaging. So we've got one bracket right here. We've got another bracket right here. I guess it's actually gonna mount like this right here to these. So you can tell we've got some stuff actually covering it up. What I plan to do is literally just cut a couple of these pieces off. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt these. And I'm gonna unbolt the headlight right here. Now for this bottom trim piece right here, I'm not exactly sure how to take it off, but it feels like it should pop off with friction, but it's just not doing it. So I'm gonna pull a little bit harder. Nope, that didn't sound good. All right. Now you'll want to pull down on these pieces. And that should be all the disassembly that's required. Now, I just want to show you guys everything that had to be taken off. That way you're well aware if you decide to tackle this on your own. We've got our upper shutter system. We got our winch plate, winch. We got our grill overlay system. We've got our grill, bumper, headlights, bottom trim piece, bumper trim piece, like a vent system, lower shutter system. Of course, if you have a winch and stuff like that, it's going to make it a little bit harder. And then this is pretty much all the hardware that we took out. We've got that, obviously another headlight, that hardware there, those pieces there, that, and then all of these pins right here. So really and truly, it's not too overly complicated, but it is going to be time consuming. No matter what kind of tools and equipment you're going to be using, it's still going to take a little bit of time. So try to account for that and don't try to rush through it, because the worst thing you can do is mess something up like this, something simple that you have to take everything back off to fix later on. So what we're going to move on to right now is one thing I'm super excited about installing on the Rubicon 392. These are actually some decals sent out by Under the Sun Inserts, and they're not some traditional decals that you guys have seen before. These are actually custom-made decals with my YouTube logo on it. You can tell the attention to detail is definitely there, and you can see everything super clearly. But first thing we need to do is clean off this window. Now the next step should be super simple. These are going to be labeled driver and passenger side. So I'm going to grab the one that is labeled driver side, and I guess all you have to do is peel and stick this thing straight to your window. And I've pretty much already got it on. Now, I'm really bad at stickers and installing them, but I think they make this to where you just about can't mess up. Now all I'm going to do is go along this crease right here, and I'm going to cut it with a razor blade. And literally under 2 minutes, this is completely done. Now let's do it again on this side. And just like that, we're already done with it. And I've got to say, these look awesome. Now keep in mind, this isn't supposed to be color matched or anything like that. They literally just used my exact logo from YouTube and imprinted it on there. And they can do that with just about anything. And if you want that for your rear windows like that, for your back glass, they can literally make all that stuff. So a huge thank you to Under the Sun Inserts for sending out these awesome window decals. If you want to get something like this for yourself, be sure to check down in the link below to see all their info. Now we're going to need to disassemble this just a bit more, that way we can actually install it on our new brackets. As you can tell, these aren't actual nuts right here. So what I've come up with is essentially just prying it. So you push it from the back side, push it apart just like that. And look, now we've got it all by itself. And then you're going to mount it on this bracket just like this. So here's the bracket, just like that. Now I've got it installed with the hardware just like this, and I've actually got a spacer. You can see that spacer right there in between it, just to make sure it is a perfect fit. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten this piece down, and then we'll move on to the rest of the bracket. And now we're going to install the 3 remaining bolts in the 2 holes up here on the top, and then 1 here on the bottom, which is going to be our adjustment anchor down here. That way we have adjustability to move the ACC for different ride heights. Now I've got it all mounted up onto this new bracket, and I've got this mounted as far forward as I can. So hopefully it's angled a little bit down whenever we actually have it mounted up. You don't want it to be angled up. Maybe I'll have to change it later, but I really hope that I can get it right the first time. That way I don't have to take this back off. Now we have to figure out what kind of clearance we're gonna have with all this stuff. So this will go back right here. Looks like maybe we'll need to remove 2 shutters and then cut this piece, I believe, from literally right here all the way down and up right there. That's what it's looking like right now. There's 1 piece. There's the second piece. Now let's line it back up. See, this one's still anchored to the bottom here on this shutter system, so I believe that's going to be just fine. And it seems like all that is going to clear just perfect. So I'm going to trim these up just a little bit, clean it up with a razor blade, then we'll permanently reinstall all this, and we can start with the actual reinstall process. Now before we tighten all that back down, I'm going to put the lower shutter system back in place and go ahead and run all the wiring. That way we've got everything set up the way it should be. Alright, so all that is plugged in and the wiring is going to work just perfectly. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and tighten up the rest of this grill. All the complicated stuff is pretty much over, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the rest. Now the Bronco Raptor is back in one piece, and I've got to say I'm kind of happy that we had to go through all that trouble in the long run, because it really gave me the chance to adjust everything with the winch and run all the lines exactly how I wanted. So it worked out well. It did take quite a while, and as you can see, the sensor is right here behind the D on Ford, and I think it's all going to work pretty well. Now we still need to go test it out, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Now, I may have to reset the system. I'm not really sure what I need to do for this next, but let's take it down the road and see if we've got any error codes. Well, all the park sensors are definitely working. Usually whenever you get up to like 15 miles an hour the way it was before, it would give us that error message. So we will find out extremely soon. Yeah, usually at 20 miles an hour is when it did it. So it seems like it's working right now. Let's get it out onto a real road and see what happens. No issues yet. Let's see if it'll let us use normal cruise control. Boom! Oh my gosh. I cannot tell you guys how happy that makes me, because I did not want to have to go through that all over again. Adaptive cruise control set, follow distance is working, everything's working. So that means forward collision control, forward collision mitigation, all that stuff is actually going to work now. and it just took a little bit of ingenuity. Now, I'm super happy that Turn Off Road actually comes out with these awesome products. If you guys haven't checked them out, they've sent out a lot of the products in the last few videos, and I've been blown away. If you've got a Ford Bronco, they definitely make some stuff that you should have. I can't tell you guys how happy it makes me to know that all the features are working once again on this awesome machine. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until then, Godspeed. If any of you guys know how to keep these bugs out of the garage while I'm working at night, please let me know in the comments below.